In this video, we will be going over a Bronze Echoes gameplay. We will be covering basic Echo fundamentals and game plan. Let's start off with some basic Echo fundamentals. As Echo, you want to be taking strong off angles. You want to be applying pressure to usually squishies, but you can also apply a lot of pressure to tanks. With your stickies and your focusing beams, you have really high kill potential. You want to be either flying in the sky when you can, using vertical cover, that's an off angle. You want to be flying on high grounds. You want to be taking duels because you've got really strong duel potential. And you also want to burn down tanks when possible. When playing Echo, you should turn this setting on. Hold to use flight is very important. This setting makes it so when you press your flight button, you have to hold it. This makes it so you can quickly press it to gain a burst of momentum and instantly cancelling the cooldown. This allows you to quickly move around the map. It also allows you to gain your flight faster, as it instantly cancels the cooldown comes back up. I like this here, although I wish you're a bit more positioned a bit more safely here. I like the aggression. I like how much pressure you're putting onto the enemy team by taking off angle. Alright, but let's just adjust your positioning a little bit, alright? So flying over here is fine. Completely fine. I would even recommend you to do this, because you can spam their backline if they're playing around here. And you can also spam the tank. For example, if the Reinhardt was right here, you would be able to spam him, and he would only be able to shield your team, and he won't be able to shield you, meaning that you get infinite pressure onto him. But the thing is, when you're flying here, you're going to float down here and you're going to have no cooldown, meaning that you're just stuck in the enemy team. When using your cooldowns, especially at your escape ones, such as your flight, you want to make sure that you have either a position that you can go back safely to, a teammate that you can go back safely to, or you have to be able to kill the people or person that you're about to fall onto. In this example, it's not likely that you're going to kill an Ana and a Baptiste and a Cassidy by yourself. However, your team is here to support, so it doesn't really matter. If you flew over to the right here, you would be able to peek out from behind cover. You'll be able to also fall back down here safely. You would also have an off angle from this right angle. For when your team walks up, you'll be shooting from here, then you'll be able to fall in from here, and take another off angle and keep shooting their team. But if worst case comes, you land here, and you can easily just fall back to your team. Your flight is not just an engage tool, but also your disengage tool. So remember that if you're going to use your flight, have a get out plan, or win your duels. I like this here. You're being proactive, you're getting in damage before the fight, which means you can force out cooldowns, you can get ult charge. Or I don't like this here. If this Cassidy was better, you would have been dead. Back to the previous points. If you're going to use your flight, make sure that you have vertical cover, you can win your duels, or that you have a safe place to retreat to. When you're flying up here, like this, you have none of those things. Well, you had a safe place to retreat to, but that's only because the Cassidy couldn't hit his shots. If the Cassidy hit one more shot, you would have been dead here. This is alright. Taking an off angle, applying pressure. Off angle? Yep, you're on an off angle right now, using your flight. Applying pressure, this is really good. I like this. But again, remember, use your cover. If you're just a little bit to the left, you wouldn't have taken so much damage, and I assume that you're going to die here. Oh, you survived. Good job using your dupe for that. But you wouldn't have had to use it if you just used your cover properly. Nice. That's a bit unlucky there. Nice cover usage here. Really like that. Good stickies. Nice. I would still like to see a bit of cover usage here. If this Cassidy just hits one headshot, you're probably gonna die. And yep, you died. Remember your cover. Cover, cover, cover. If you're playing here, you probably would have only taken pressure from the Tracer, and you can easily fly up here, shoot them from back here, you can fly back up here, you can fly even down there. You'll be completely safe if you just had positioned a bit better around cover. Okay, so I want to see you being proactive, doing damage before the fight, but also staying safe. Nice, you got a kill on the Ryan because he didn't put his shield up. Nice.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
Be mindful of your movement. Because you're walking in a straight line, you made it extremely easy for this Cassidy to shoot you. If you incorporated just a little bit of AD strafing, you probably wouldn't have gotten hit there, and you wouldn't have had to use your ult as a reactive second life. I do like how you're using your ult as a second life, that's pretty good. But you're being forced to use it in unoptimal settings. Nice. Nice shots. Good target priority too. Nice. Yeah. I appreciate you going into the backline, but you're a bit low on HP there, so it probably wasn't the best idea to challenge him to a duel while you're low HP. Once you got healed up, it was a fine idea, but just wait a few seconds for your Zen to heal you up.
I'm so sorry. Aha!
I would have liked you to be a bit better positioned, probably around back here. Try to use your flight to get to safety, rather than just flying around. It's a pretty bad habit to just use your movement ability, your get out of jail free ability, and not use it effectively. And by that I mean not using it to get out of danger. If you use your ability to get into danger, you have to be able to kill the danger. Good pick here. Really good pick on the Tracer. Good pick on the Reinhardt too. Alright, I don't mind this dupe. See how much value you get out of it. Good cover usage. Nice, got a pick. Nice. Nice. You won that fight for your team because you got that pick on the Moira there. And the pick on the Reinhardt earlier. Alright. Let's take a step back here. I know it's a lot of pressure since you're near the end, but you do not need to be standing on this payload right now. I can tell you, you can be so much more effective if you're just standing right here, shooting down at them, standing right here, shooting down at them, or even right here, here and here if you want to be a bit spicy. But what do you achieve from this position here compared to here? Well, up here, you get a better view of the battlefield. You get more information. You know what the hell's going on. You can see that everyone's here, alright? You can see your team, you can see the enemy, and that's pretty good. Information is vital. Number two, it's an off angle from your team. You can apply pressure, and your team will either have to shoot at your Roadhog, your Sombra, or you. They can't shoot at all three of you at once. And number 3, this position provides cover. This pole here, and high ground itself is cover. You can back off and they won't be able to see you. So, standing here, compared to here, you just get so much more done there, and it's also safer. Let's apply some pressure on this back line here. Nice. Okay, again, let's take an angle. Fly up to here, fly up to here. Standing here, it's just not as valuable as when you're standing up here. You can shoot the enemy from up here, you get a different angle. It's easier to shoot them from up here, and they also have harder time using the cover. But right here, you just kind of use your flight, and you know, you don't really have a reason to use it. Although you do win the point. I think that's mainly because this Reinhardt keeps overextending, rather than anyone on your team actively trying to get a pick. Oof, 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 oof. I do not like this. You're using your get out of jail free ability, your flight, to get out, to get in, sorry. And this fight is not winnable. With that cast there, and the Moira, you're not winning this at all. You might be able to kill the Moira, but the cast is going to kill you. You should reserve your flight for when you can win a 1v1 by using it, or to take an off angle, or to get out of jail. And by that, I mean away from the enemies, to cover, to a health pack, to your team, whatever. Just anywhere where you won't die. Using your flight here, you use it to get into danger, meaning that you can't get out of danger. This is alright. I would like you to probably fly up above them or to an off angle, because you might die here. Yep, you die. Also, let's go back a little bit here. Right here. As Echo, this is likely in a higher rank that this Reinhardt would just put a shield up right now. He's low HP and he's probably gonna die. So as Echo, what I'll do is fly up and start beaming him, because he can either beam you, he can either block you with his shield, preventing your beam damage, or he can block your Roadhog from his shotgun damage, right? Which puts a lot of pressure onto this Moira to heal him. She just can't damage anyone else, because if she damages, then the Reinhardt's gonna die. Simple as that. Just beaming him from back here, you know? Reinhardt dies. He dies anyway, because he's just bad, honestly. He doesn't know how to use his shield. But, yeah, anyways. Now that you have your flight back up, I would like you to be a bit proactive. Nice, those are good shots. Landing those shots on the Moira forces her back. This is an alright dude. Try to use your cooldowns as fast as possible when you get Echo Dupe. Especially on Cassidy, because you only get, you can get 2 hinders if you just throw the first one instantly. Alright, so by flying up here, you get a more proactive angle that you can just shoot down on the team. So before they even enter the fight, you just stand here and start shooting them. You'll be able to tell where the enemies come before the fight even starts. And you'll be able to do damage to them before the fight even starts, meaning that you can force cooldowns, such as recall, such as amp, and you can get ult charge, which means that you can get your second life and build up an ult quickly. By doing this, you're kinda just letting them find positions that they want to take. Good use of cover there. again, try to use your flight to get it to a proactive place. You're kind of just standing on the payload trying to brawl them, which is not really what Echo wants to do. You want to be standing up here just spamming at them. It's much more proactive. You'll be able to do much more damage and you'll also be safer. Okay, let's see. Something that I do like to do when defending as Echo on most maps is just throw a few stickies at the spawn before the fight. You know, you can just fly up here, throw stickies, you'll get ult charge. Worst thing that can happen is that you just fall back down. Nothing happens really. Best thing that happens, you get a kill, you get ult charge. Just all joyful things by throwing stickies at their spawn before the game even starts. But here is fine. I would probably take on top of the bridge or flying up here where I would throw the stickies to just, you know, spam them with damage, but let's see what happens when the fight actually starts. I do like the proactive position, playing at the front so you can do damage. Just remember, you need a place where you can always fall back to cover. Good pick. Right here. Try to use your cover around the car. Yep. Right here, try to use your cover, rotate around the car, and you might have survived that. Also make sure you click X to request for healing. Alerts your supports that you need help. Nice, this is alright. Try to stay by cover though. Like, hug this right corner here. By standing here, this Cassidy can get 2 shots on you. While you're standing by the cover, the Cassidy can only get 1 shot on you before you just instantly go behind cover, and your supports will heal you up. Alright, so here, try to take a proactive angle, fly above them, and just pelt them from up here, alright? As said earlier, this is off angle, achieves lots of things. You get a view of the whole battlefield, you have cover, you can easily back out, you can spam them from up here, they can only shoot you or your team, whoever may it be, and you can also fly out when things come to the worst. That's usually when your team has lost the fight. If you're just hugging this here, the Tracer could have only shot you, and worst comes to worst, you either shoot from here, or before the fight even starts, you fly up here and start pelting them from behind. This is an off angle, and it's likely that they're not even going to expect it. You'll be able to line up your stickies on the Sana, force out cooldowns, you can force out nade, you can force out immortality field. If you land your stickies on the Tracer, you can force out recall. All really good cooldowns that you want to force out. But by taking this angle here, you kinda, it's alright, but like, you kinda force yourself to be the main point of pressure, since you're playing on main, meaning that everyone's looking at you and your team. They can easily switch targets between you, and also your damage isn't as effective as they can just go behind cover and avoid all damage from every single one of your teammates. This is alright. I'm not sure about this dupe here. There's still 30 seconds left, so you probably want to save your dupe for the next fight. Nice, just trying to farm nano here. Oh no! That's really unlucky. It happens to the best of us.
Where is it? Should you keep focus on high priority targets over eliminations, or is that a play-by-play?
What do you mean?
With your target priority, you should be going forward as Echo and Widow. You go for supports, then damage, so on, yeah? If you have a Genji who's like just about dead and you're targeting their supports like a motherfucker, do you stop focusing the supports and go for that Genji, or do you keep applying pressure to the supports?
It depends. Usually you want to just try finish out the Elam, because if you kill someone, you know, that changes a 5 on 5 onto a 4 on 5. Hey, much easier to win.
Yep.
in some situations, putting pressure onto the support so they are unable to heal the Genji, so a teammate can finish them off, is the more optimal play.
Mm.
But
Okay,
most
so it's just a play-by-play.
most cases you'll just shoot the Genji.
For characters like Echo, would you say her whole structure as a character is to scout, dive, and ambush enemies? Or is there like a better formula for Echo?
For Echo specifically, she's an all-rounder. She can do anything. She can poke, spam from afar. She can do a lot of damage just by shooting down the choke, throwing all the cooldowns down the choke.
Same as flanking?
Yeah, because...
Echo's flank?
Yeah, Echoes can flank. When an Echo flanks, they usually want to be quick about it. They want to have their flight to get out. So, usually when you're flanking as Echo, you start from the high ground, you jump behind them, throw your stickies, and then beam them. And then you fly out.
And just get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Distance management a major part with Echo as it is with Widowmaker, or?
Well, it depends. It's more of a fight by fight basis. Not fight by fight, character basis. For example, if you're fighting something like an Ashe or a Widow, you want to be close to them. You're more effective at close range than them, so you want to be into your range. But if you're fighting something like a Reaper or Genji, you usually just want to spam them from afar because they've got much better close range fighting capabilities than you. This doesn't mean you don't take 1v1s with these characters, but it's worthwhile to keep in mind that these characters are much more risky than 1v1s than others.
Going back to the ultimate, what's your ultimate usage like with Echo?
Echo?
In what scenario should I prioritize using Echo's duplicate ultimate, and how can I maximize its impact on teamfights? Do you use it to save yourself like with Winston's ult? Or is it, do you know what I mean?
There's a few, actually a lot of opportunities to use Echo ult. The first and most common one is a second life.
You don't hold on to it?
Not often, not often. The first use for me using Echo ult is for second life, most common usage. You know, you're gonna die, just use it, get your second life.
Yeah.
You know, you can do damage, do all your things with your second life, you know.
Who do you target as your ult? So when you use your ult for your second life, you immediately beam straight for the tank, just like 90% of the time? Or is that like...
I'll get to that in a second.
Unsafe.
But let me just finish up the Echo ult usage. So the second reason to use Echo's ult is, would you rather be this character in this situation right now? Would this character get more value in this situation right now? For example, if you're standing, let's say, on the high ground behind their team, would you rather be Echo?
Yep.
Or would you rather dupe the Sigma and spam them, so you can have your shield, you can have your suck, so you're basically an impenetrable fortress behind their team, just spamming damage on them. Another situation is, let's say a Mei uses ult. You can dupe Kiriko and throw Suzu at your team to just cleanse them of their ult, completely negating their ult for your ult. And also, Zarya bubbles are pretty good too, for negating ults.
Oh shit, well here, let's go! Oh, never mind. I was gonna say, you joined.
Alright, and so, what was the question again, Cobstar?
Which one was it? Was it the ultimate usage?
Yes, so once you use your ultimate, it usually depends on your character.
When you use your ult, do you just go
Yeah, cool.
So, if you're a Bastion, you're probably gonna do Bastion things. You're gonna, click shift, shoot the tank, brr. But if you're Tracer, you're gonna do Tracer things. You're gonna go find those squishies. You're gonna go shoot those supports. But it depends, you know.
What's Echo's core objectives within a team? Is she
usually to
provide support and utility, or is she...
It's usually to try burst down opponents, whether that be the tank, whether that be a squishy, wherever it be who. Echo has a lot of damage. Sticky's 6-second cooldown and does a lot of AoE damage. Beam, pretty long cooldown, but it does a lot of damage. 175 per second, I think. So she can beam down tanks, because they're big health pool. It's really easy to, use beam on them, just melt them down. Stickies, really good for on squishies. Puts them on really low HP, and if you land all of them, you can follow up with beam, or it forces the enemy to back out.
Is it important to use Echo's abilities in conjunction to each other? Just like fuck, flight, sticky, focus beam, get the fuck out? Or...
Kinda. I'd say it's important to remember that you should beam after stickies if you're about to go to below half HP, because it's just big burst damage. Using your flight, you can easily spam stickies down from above, but you can use your flight
Should you use flight to get into a fight or out of a fight?
Usually you want to reserve it for getting out of a fight, but there are situations where you can use it to get into a fight. And as I said in this video here, you want to use it if you can win a 1v1, if to get to high ground, to get to a more proactive position, to get out to a safe position, you'll get out free jail. Yeah, those are the main uses for Echo Flight, and also just pelting from above. But that does lessen a bit when you pick when the opponents pick characters like Soldier, Widow, and Ash, because they can pelt you while you're flying.
Yeah. Is there any main characters you should watch out for as playing Echo in general?
Oh.
Like if you see a character on an enemy team, you should be like, oh fuck, that now my whole playstyle is gonna shift around it.
Usually hit scans.
So any hit scan.
And D.Va.
Stay the fuck away from. Play cover.
So when fighting Ash, Bastion, Cassidy, I'll get to D.Va after I do hit scans. So Ash, Bastion, Cassidy, Sojourn, Soldier, Widowmaker, and Baptiste and Ana, and Ayadi. All of those characters can pelt you while you're in the air, so you have to use your flight a lot more carefully. If you use your flight to just fly above the team, you're likely just going to get shot down and you're going to die. But with D.Va, the reason why she is so threatening is because she's got a lot of burst damage, and she can chase you on most of your off angles that you want to take. So do you remember a lot of the examples that I was saying to play as with Echo, on those high grounds on the last point, and the high ground on that bridge? Yeah. If you're playing Echo and you're standing on those positions, D.Va can easily just fly up to you and spam her rockets at you, and fuck you up. So you have to play you have to play a lot different when playing D.Va. Usually you're playing more with your team, just trying to use stickies on her once you use her DM and try to force her below a half HP so you can beam her down. But once she's out of mech, you're free to take your angles.
Is there any practice of that shit that you can do with Echo besides aim training? Is there any other drills or practice routines you'd recommend?
Just playing the game. Try out different angles. Try out different flanks. Try. If you try something and it doesn't work, then it might not be the best play. Not always the case. Sometimes your team just loses the fight for you. But try different angles. Whatever works best, you want to apply and use in your games.
How can I effectively review my own gameplay footage to identify areas of improvement for Echo in general? Does that make sense?
Yeah, the main things that I'd follow up on are cover usage. Make sure you're always using cover, especially against hit scans. Using your vertical cover, your ground cover, your whatever. Also, make sure that you're being proactive, taking proactive angles. So, when you're reviewing your own gameplay, ask yourself, from this angle, what am I doing? Am I effectively baiting out cooldowns, doing lots of damage? Or wait, what am I doing in this position? And ask yourself, if I was in a different position, would I be able to do more?
Is there any characters that go really well with Echo? Is there... With Winston, if you play Ana or Tracer or Sombra, Domin, what's some really good synergy characters with Echo?
With Echo, I'd recommend Dive or Poke, but she can do anything. She's really versatile. With Dive, you want to be going in with your
Winston.
An
everything character.
Yeah, she's an everything character. You can play her against counters, you can play her against...
But with that everything
any map.
character, is that just due to you being skillful with her, or is that someone who's brain dead can do everything with her?
No, she's an everything character. For
Does that make
example,
sense?
if
Low
you...
skill ceiling, or
I say she has like a medium skill ceiling. You have to know how to use cover effectively, and you have to be able to hit shots somewhat well. But you don't need to be like the most intelligent person to use Echo. Echo's ult can be a bit different, you know. If you have super high game sense, you're going to get a lot of value out of Echo's ult because you can become any character. You get there at cooldowns, but overall, I think Echo's a pretty good character to play. And not the hardest to get into, but definitely not the easiest.
My brain hurt. My brain hurt. Class ended 5 minutes ago. I'm on school holiday. Come on.
if you were an
Especially
Echo
the
main and
camera.
you're facing an enemy comp where it's very heavy dive or dive heavy, such as Winston and Genji, would you prioritize, like, how would your gameplay change around that?
But let's say, are they playing full dive or they're playing like semi dive? Because it's going to be a bit different.
Full dive.
Full dive.
They're
Okay,
fucking,
full dive,
okay.
that's a
they're
different
going
situation.
titties.
That's a different situation.
If they're playing full dive, let's say they're playing Winston, they're playing Genji, Tracer,
Tracer,
Moira, and Kiriko.
Yuri.
They're all going to be on your team. They're all going to be on your backline, so it's likely that they're going to go for the supports first and try eat you from the back, and then, come finish your tank and then the DPS. So what you want to do is try protect your supports and burn down a tank. For example, the Winston, you can easily burn him down with your stickies and your beam. Or you want to try burst down a DPS. You just want to try burst down someone as fast as possible. So if the Winston's harassing your DPS the most, your supports the most, try kill him first. If the Tracer's harassing your supports the most, you can try peel for them, try get the pressure off your supports by shooting the enemies, throwing your stickies, beaming anyone that's half HP, and just flying above them, usually, if they're full dive, because they can't really attack you.
Would maps also have a big part on whether or not you play Echo?
I would
Does that make
say
sense, or-
Echo is not entirely map dependent. On her best map, she's going to get a lot more value. For example, Havana's first point is pretty rough for Echo, since there is not many off angles that she can take, and it's really hit scan dominant. So if you try to take an angle, you're likely just going to get shot down. So there's like only 2 angles you can take on Havana. Any maps where there's lots of high ground and lots of vertical cover, she's usually good on.